Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Big Bear, and today, well, I was about to say that I want to show you to do something really cool with GameMaker games, but it's basically a remake video because I uploaded the wrong version of the video. It was like way too small, like 480 something. I wasn't meaning to post like the full HD one, but for whatever reason, the output, the encoding stuff, make my video in a very low resolution. I had to remake this video. But anyway, again, welcome to my channel, and let's see. So this is Guns of Fury, and this game was made by GameMaker. Now, if you ever try to make a table, or if you try to create a pointer with games making by GameMaker, you encounter something like quite tough. It's really hard to, looking for stuff, right? So let's make an example over here. So let me get into the games first. Let's move right then over here. Okay. Right, we get into games. Now let's activate this table to do some stuff with it. Let's say, so when we get into games, right here that you see, I had a max health over here, right? And then, for example, you try to look for this value, and then for the reason that you was fighting at, okay? Then you try to make a pointer by doing the pointer scan, or you try to make a script for that one. Let's say over here, and then you're gonna see that you're gonna pop up with a function. And if you look at the stack over here, down here, let me pull it up. Okay, if you look at the stack over here, you're gonna see something like an ID, okay, and it's really the ID of the value that we're looking at over here. So that the max health had the ID of 19168, okay. And let's check another one. Current health. I wonder if this thing gonna, yeah, this thing gonna be reading too. Let's push this in back to back so you can see this one is current health, and it's also get accessed with the same function over here. These two are the same, okay. And even when we go to like the ID one, so this one is 19168 something, and this one is like 18989, right? So you see, so the game's using that type of ID to comparing value and output, because if you get into this function, you right click on that one and find out what access to this code, right? You're gonna see everything in the game goes loaded in here. And if you make a script using this function over here, a lot of time it's gonna crash your games, even though like you're gonna filter it out using this ID. But because it's running through too many things at the same time, and then when it goes through the injection of cheat engine, sometimes it's not like the input and the output is not consistent. So like it make your value changing, and it crash the memory structure, then it crash the games. Right. It's also like when the games get updated, you need to change the ID again, and a lot of time these IDs they're not very stable, because like for some games like I think Nolan that I do before, those ID changing, sometimes they change whenever you restart the games, right? So this might not be a good thing to use. And also, like, as you can look in here, we have a few things that can be suspected. ID, right? Either this one right here, or this one up here, or this one up here. We don't know which one, right? So it makes this a very unstable method to use, and therefore we're looking in at the different pictures. We find another way to do it, and fortunately for GameMaker, everything in the game, like your character or thing here called an object, right? And all the object gonna get, through some function, and that function gonna kind of like reading the object, then output it onto the games and go through this function right here that output it in here that you can see on the engine in the screen in the game over here. Okay, so what we're gonna do for today is we're gonna looking for the um, at the function or at the base address of all the object, and we're gonna find that one, and from there we're gonna go through all the pointer that gonna leading us to these value you see on the screen over here. So let's first of all let's take a look at the pointer. Okay, as you can see in here, we have like a pointer with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 layer, sometimes it's 10 layer. Okay, and if you do a pointer scan for this one without knowing these number over here, it's gonna take you forever, and you might not even find anything. Okay, because we need to find everything, including the base address, and that make like the pointer scan also not a good idea unless you know all these number a little bit. Now let's say in this pointer over here, if you look at this one like 9 or 10 layer of pointer, like 9 to 10 offset, you're gonna be, oh, this is too much. But eventually, for most of the games, you're gonna see this offset from like the third one over here, 18, 68, 10, 48, 10. They are gonna stay the same. They will not be changing that much. Even if they're changing, they're gonna change be in kind of like the different of like 8 to 20 offset something. So like this 18 over here might become like 60 sometime, and it's easier for you to keep track of those. But we talk about that later. Again, but over here, most thing you want to know about this list right here is, first of all, the first one usually just a 0. The last one is 0. And the thing in the middle, the 18, 68, 10, 48, 10, they're going to stay the same, okay? Now this one right here, the second to the last and the second to the first, those are going to changing. So this one right here, basically your object name, okay? And this one over here is the object property, okay? So for example, over here, this 11A8 over here, basically the offset for player, okay? And then this one over here, the property is max health. So if I have to put the name in here, it's supposed to be something like player and then max health, something like this, okay? But well, we just name this max health because there's no other player in here anyway. Okay, so that's a little bit about the structure. Now, in this video, I'm gonna show you how to find the base address, okay? And how can you looking for the object name. For the object property, it's a little bit complicated, and I don't want to make this video last like 3 hours. So I'm gonna do that in another video, okay? So again, for this one, we're only focusing on the base object address over here, and then the object name, okay? First of all, when you download this table, you're gonna see like something like finding object list over here. Now this one was made for this game, for Guns of Fury. So if you use it for another game, it may not work. So how do we make it work? In here, when you open the script, you're gonna see the general AOB in here, okay? And you just copy this. Then you go to the search bar over here, you paste it in there. You need to change this to array of byte, okay? Because that array of byte scan. All right, and then on the right over here, you're gonna remove that. Some people, they like to do it like with a square, which means it doesn't matter. It's gonna count everything, but this is gonna make your scan a little bit longer. So I usually, for this one, because we're looking for a base static address, then I'm just looking for something that's not writable, and that's always give you like the green address. So let's say with that all the setup, now we do the first scan. And you can see right here we have 19 result over here. Now let's say sometimes you might have 300 address, and you need to check for each of them. But one thing that you can try that gonna like make your life easier is like the name of the games over here. So this thing right here, I don't know what it is. GB, like GPU, computer, NV, something, whatever. We don't really care about that. So eventually from the 19 result over here, I only have 3 that I need to take a look at. Okay, now we're gonna try looking at like each of them. We're gonna right click on that, and then you're gonna looking for the disassemble this memory region right here. Okay, or Control D, right? Click on that one. The memory viewer gonna show up. All right, you're gonna see some opcode over here that we have moved, right? RA. So RA gonna get the value stored in this pointer over here, right? And this pointer is suspecting that it is our the base address of our object. Okay, we're not sure what that is yet, but we noted it down. So I'm gonna just put it to my table down here. Let's move this up a little bit. Right, let me see anything changing. Okay, so I'm gonna name this one over here, so that kind of like a way to keep track of things. Now I want to check the second one over here. Okay, I press Control D, it bring up the memory viewer for that, for the second value over here. Minimize this thing a little bit. Okay, so over here you see that R9 was copied from like a pointer from RSP. RSP a stack pointer. So anything with RSP or RBB, most of the time don't touch it because they are not stable and they might crash your game. So unless you know exactly what that function do and you know exactly what you are doing, do not try to mess up with the RSP or the RBB pointer. Okay, so in this case right here, the second one is the one that cannot be used. So we back to the table, we tap this one again, Control D, and this one is another stack pointer right here. So we don't care about it, right? Then so out of the 19, we go to 3, and now we go only the first one work. Okay. Let's say assuming that sometime you're gonna encounter some case where like this address over here, like this thing right here, you're gonna see a similar pattern in here, and then you're gonna have different address over here. Then you have to test each of them. Okay, so for this case, I'm gonna test this one right here. All right, you double click on that, and you're gonna copy the address. Okay, then you go to Tool, and then Dissect Data Structure, and this thing gonna show up. Okay. So let me remove everything so it's not lagging my computer. All right, so in here, you're gonna paste the address you just copy in there, right? Or you can just type it in right here, just type in there. I'm lazy, so let's do it this way. And then we define a new structure, okay? I'm just gonna add this in here. All right. This number right here has some meaning, but for now, let's just keeping that, okay? We just gonna get in here, and then the very first one, because like when you see that square parenthesis over there, or the bracket over there, that basically a pointer. It reading the pointer in here, and as you can see, this the very first one is the pointer. So we're gonna expand this pointer, and then you're gonna see a whole ton of thing in here. Don't worry about this stuff, okay? I mean, there's something that we can use with them. But for now, just ignoring them, okay? Then you're gonna go from this one, you're gonna open this, and now you see all the pointer in here. So these are your object. This is the object list. And how many objects do we have? This is number right here. 1691 is the number of object that the game loaded. Okay. So now we have the list of the object in here. We're gonna go through first. For example, over here I have the player, right? My player is at offset the sorry, the player object is at offset 1188. Okay, so I'm gonna add this one in here, 1188, and I call this one player. Okay, so now we get in here. And we expand this one. Now, how do I know this one is player? So once you go over here, and then let me see, You can try to double check the offset 0 or offset 18 over here. Either of them gonna show a name. So I'm gonna open this one right here, and this first one is a item teddy bear, so it's not the one we're looking at. So this one might be in here, 18 and 0. There we go. So you see that old player right here. So that is the name of our object. Okay. Now when you get in here, like I said, that when you open this one and you see another name in here, why is that? Because usually like the way that the game running, it's gonna go from like 0 and to 8 and then 0 again. So you can see the pattern right here, it increased by 8, right? And then so usually these two right here is one, basically these two offset right here is one array, the same thing, and it's gonna be something like this, right? So we're gonna have this array from FF0 to FFF8. This gonna list the object 1 to object 2 to object 3. Okay. Now object 4 gonna be in the next one. So we're gonna have like FF, let's say 8. So FFF, not F, it's gonna be to something 1. No, FFF, right? I cannot do a calculation. I think I make a hard example of myself. So 0 to 8 gonna be object 1 to 3, right? Then from offset number 10 to 18, we're gonna have object 4, object 5, object 6. Okay, so sometimes it goes like that, and there's a way for we to deal with that, so don't worry about it. For now, just kind of like follow along, okay? So well, in here, as you can see, when I track in here, I see that, oh, my player pointer right here. So I'm in a good one right here, right? So at 1188, I go to 18, and then I see my player right here. So from here, we're gonna go to offset 68, and this is just the same pattern. So from here, we go to 68, right? Then we go 10, then we go 48, then we go 10. And this right here gonna be the object property array. So in here, you're gonna see a list of pointer. We're going down right here that you can see that here there's nothing, and then suddenly some pointers start showing up, right? Each of these gonna be the pointer to the property of the object. So let's say I need to go for the max health, right? I need to go to offset 1680. Okay, so let's add that in here, 1680, and we call this one max health, right? Click OK, and then it's gonna bring you to that. It's just adding that offset in there. You open that, and the first value gonna be your max health right here. Max health is really hard to check, so let's check the current health. Okay, the current health is at 1B90, so we're gonna add that in there, 1B90. Okay, we call this current health. Now, how do I know this? We're gonna cover that in the next video. Okay, for this one, again, we're just gonna stop right here. So this is current health, right? When I open this one, you can see the first value right here is basically current health value. Now we can test this one. So let me see, how can I show you this? We add this one to our table then. Okay, now you can see it on the bottom of my screen right here, right? Current health value. Go back to the games, get hit, okay, and boom, and you see the number changing, right? And now I go back to cheat engine, change that to 5, and there we go. Our health coming back. Change it to 1. See that the health going back. Okay, so that's basically how we go from like how to find the base object list to like the looking for the object value, and I mean the object name, and then we go to actually the property of each thing in here. Okay, now let's say you don't want to do the whole thing like that every single time, right? So first of all, we're gonna make a script to looking for the this base value. So when you go back to the memory viewer, right in here, then we're gonna create a script right here. So we're gonna click on that what is that address over there, and then to auto assemble, and then we're gonna create a template in here. All right, let's move this one over here, and in here, all right, you want to name something called object list. Okay, you can name this whatever you want, but for now, just type out exactly the same thing I put in here. I will explain it later why. Okay, so we're gonna register the symbol, then we create a pointer right here, right, and then we're gonna do, let's say not here because we need that, so we need to move down here, object list from R8, because like after this instruction, R8 now gonna hold the address up to our object list, right? So we're gonna copy that value into our new pointer over here. So let's assign to current cheat table, and I'm gonna name this one finding object list. And since I already have what am I typing here? I had the other one, so I'm just gonna name this number 2. Okay. And you want to copy this one over here. Now for this one, there's nothing that you need to modify in here as long as you do whatever I show. And earlier I telling you that we need to get that object list in here like typed out at exactly like this, like the capital O, the capital L over here. The reason for that is because in this object list generator, I create some thing. This is a script I created. It's called like we're gonna call that object list pointer that we create and use that one to to generate the list of object in the game. Okay, so if you name it differently, then this script will not work anymore. Okay, and you have to modify it. So to make things easier for you, then just name it object list like that. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna activate the find object list. Okay, nothing happened because like basically we just try to get the pointer for the object list. Next, you wanna press on this one right here. Let me show up the Lua engine first so that you can see. Let's X this out. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore too. So watch, when I press this one, it's gonna generate a list of the object in the game, and that's all. Okay, so now we're gonna copy this and open your notepad or whatever thing that make your life easier. You're gonna paste this whole thing in here. See, and now your life is so much easier. So what this list does is like this is the name of the object and this is the offset. Okay, so for example, again, I'm gonna looking for, let's say, what else in here that we look for, ability, for example, right? I'm gonna looking for some ability in here. As you can see right here, I found right away. So at offset number 20, right, I had ability binoculars. So let's check in here, my binocular in here, right? Open that one and you see that the second offset is number 20 right here. See that? And in this one, you're gonna see like a bunch of property, but again, we will cover it in the next video. For now, I just show you all the thing about it, how to find the base pointer, how to like put it in, and then how to looking for the object list. Okay, so basically when you put this in here, all the you can find all the object in the game through this. All right, and that should be it for this table. I hope that this will be helpful for you, and if you have any question or any concern, feel free to give me a comment to my video or send me a Discord message. If I have time, I would try my best to answer. Again, like I'm working like 2 jobs right now, and I don't have much time to do everything. So if I slow to answer you, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, if you here for the table and see how it work only, you don't care about like how to do this and that. I'm going to show you how this table work. Okay, so let's start with what we have over here, current health. I had a backup over here because sometimes I don't know, because the max health and current health get messed up. I don't know what happened in there. Sometimes like maybe my table or maybe like my imagination. So basically, if the current health is not working, then you use the backup over here. Okay, and how do we use it? Not really anything. You just freeze the value. Okay, now this game, whenever you pause the game, get into the menu, the object list is gonna be reloaded. So for example, right here, when I go to this one, as you can see in the screen right now, let's see, you can see on the screen. Let me move this away, easier to see. So all the pointer become like question mark, and that's why I do not really make a script for it. We just had to manually freeze the value. Okay, there we go. Now we go back. See that? It's just like that. So don't worry if you go to the menu and say, oh, all of my pointer disappear. It will come back whenever you resume the game. Okay, now we have grenade and just freeze them like that. And now see, it's shooting, right? Like that. It's not going down. And I threw my grenade, not going down. Easy one. Okay, so that's how you use those first script over there. I think we can change. I'm not sure we can change this. Maybe we can. Haha, look at that. So now we have a lot of heals. Okay. Next we have the mix script. In here, there's not much thing to worry about because I do not really understand all of them yet. I just see them in the list and I feel like they quite interesting. So I add them in there. So I don't know what the hash key or the cow or can charge swing state meaning in here. No idea. But at least like we have the reload cow. I think that is when, what about like you changing your reloading gun or anything, I don't know. But these two I know. So the jump height, the smaller you put in there, so -20, the higher you can jump. Okay. And then if you put in there like 10, you cannot jump. Okay. Because for this game, like the vertical axis, it's somewhere over here, like the what is that? The base of the vertical axis, like number 0, right? The coordination, yeah, 0 somewhere over here, and you start at something like negative down here, I think. Whatever. So again, just a smaller number, the higher you're gonna jump. Now gravity is different. The higher the gravity, the harder for you to jump. So I'm gonna put it at 10, and then basically you're gonna see that I cannot really jump, right? But I put it at 0, for example, then I'm gonna flying up here, just like that. So you can change it to some small number for kind of like a higher jump. So let's back this one to a smaller number, the default number, and you can see I can jump really high because the gravity is not enough to. When you press A, you're gonna add a power, a jumping power to your character, and then the gravity gonna slowly negate that number. All right. So that's how you use those two. I don't know if they have any useful in this game, but it looked quite fun when your character was stuck in on top of the screen. We go to ability right now, so it disable. Go back to the games, and then we go to ability, and you can see all of them are like question mark right now. So you can just choose all of them and then enable, and now you see them show up on the screen. Okay. So now I want to turn them on. Now I can do double jump. Okay, just like that. This one increased my HP too much. Let's put my HP back to 5, so it's not gonna have some weird interaction. Okay, so now we have some ability dashing. I think this one increasing the dash speed. How? Not really. I don't know. All right, but that's how you use the ability part. You just enable all of them, and then go to your video menu, turn them on. Okay, treasure, I only add one in here because like there's a bunch of treasure in here and I don't want to like manually input them. There's no way to automatically put them in. I mean, there's one, but I'm so lazy to just make a script for that. So I just added one in here, and let's go to my treasure list right here. You don't see anything. Okay, so I'm gonna enable this one, and there we go. Now you see my telephone is showing up in here, right? The buy value, I think it doesn't matter in here, but you can right here you can see my sale value is 400. I'm gonna change this one to like 9999, and you can see the game changing. So when I think that when you sell this one, you're gonna get a whole ton of money, and that's why I don't add the money pointer in here because you just need to look for those value again through the object list, and that's a pain. But anyway, that should be it, and I hope that you enjoying the content of my video. Hopefully you learned something good for this video, and if you're here for the table, hopefully that this good enough for you to enjoy the games. Okay, anyway, again, if you have any question for me, if you have any concern, just scroll down in here. You're gonna see the link to my Discord over here, and you can just go back to this video right here anytime with this link to my instructional video, and then leave a comment for me. All right, other than that, have fun, and we see you later.